Welcome to War India News Hour. Why many want complete WHM? Is it competition versus conviction? Organizations and businesses around the world have implemented preventive measures to avoid the coronavirus. There are many companies who are trying their luck for venturing the work from home concept. Just imagine if everyone starts working from home, what about the sales force, marketing personnel jobs? What about the production and manufacturing? There will be a huge job loss and software companies to get huge benefits. An expert says the software can make the world and can also destroy the world. Another expert says this man-made pandemic is not going to last long. Many corporate houses are ready with the vaccines. At the same time, software companies are trying their luck on the work-from-home products and solutions. The biggest reasons why employees prefer to work remotely are they get to save time on their daily commute. People also like having that time back, and some of the employees also like the flexibility of working remotely because they can structure the day how they want. At the same time, many companies lack the technology infrastructure to offer that capability without some sacrifices to business as usual. However, one unexpected outcome of COVID-19 is that companies realize the benefits of fast-tracking digital transformation. Few companies are trying to bridge the gap between in-person events and virtual ones with platforms that combine video, networking and more to try to capture the benefits of networking at an in-person event and the content and tech of virtual tools. The dark side of being virtual is witnessing the event and conference industry, which is a $1 trillion industry and has been a critical way to exchange ideas and build professional relationships. The other side of the coin is the virus outbreak has pushed conference organizers and business owners to think outside the box to provide compelling alternative options in the interest of public safety. This push could also result in innovations for the future with how people meet and interact better virtually. Let's look into today's headlines in War India. India will be third largest economy by 2050, says Lancet. India is likely to overtake Japan as the third largest economy in the world by 2050 and continue in that position till 2100. The study constructed scenarios for GDP using the working age population of countries. It also assessed potential economic and geopolitical effects of future demographic shifts. India had set itself a target of being a $5 trillion economy by 2024 and 25, but the COVID-19 pandemic has stalled the march towards that target. AMD reported in talks to buy Xilinx for $30 billion. AMD is said to be negotiating to buy Xilinx, and buying Xilinx would be the second mega merger that is expected to be announced in the coming few weeks. If the two companies agree, the deal would likely be worth approximately $30 billion. The report shows AMD's stock grew 89% this year and the company now has a valuation of over $100 billion. South Korea is aimed to develop 50 types of AI-focused system semiconductors by 2030. AI chips are high-performance and power-efficient semiconductors that specialize in AI services. South Korea placed big bets on developing the next generation chips with a plan to spend around $871 million until 2029. The ICT ministry said it has also plans to acquire homegrown technology to develop such chips by 2022 while fostering 3,000 experts in the sector over the next 10 years. Hughes India to connect 5,000 Gram Panchayats to the internet with satellite broadband. Hughes Communications announced its selection by Bharat Broadband Nigam Limited, that is BBNL, and Telecommunications Consultants India Limited, that is TCIL, to provide high-speed satellite connectivity to 5,000 remote Gram Panchayats. Hughes India will enable internet services for each Gram Panchayat using capacity from ISRO. The award are part of the government's flagship BharatNet program to provide broadband connectivity to all 250,000 gram panchayats throughout India. McAfee releases SaaS-based suites to deliver comprehensive and unified cybersecurity. McAfee has announced the expansion of its mVision portfolio with 3 all-in-one software-as-services solution offerings McAfee devised to cloud suites. These suites are designed for customers who are adopting a cloud-first stance and desire a simplified portfolio approach for device-to-cloud protection. All 3 suites include McAfee mVision Insights, the industry's first proactive and actionable threat posture capability that prioritizes risks, predicts the success of countermeasures, and prescribes remedial actions. CrowdStrike extends Zero Trust to endpoint devices. CrowdStrike announced the availability of CrowdStrike Falcon Zero Trust Assessment, that is ZTA, which delivers continuous real-time security posture assessments across all endpoints in an organization, regardless of the location, network, or user. CrowdStrike Falcon ZTA enforces conditional access based on device health and compliance checks to mitigate risks and helps organizations maintain a holistic cybersecurity approach that protects their data and users from the sophisticated tactics of cyber adversaries. Airtel brings premium education content through DTH platform. Airtel Digital TV along with Aakash Educational Services has launched India's first dedicated TV channels for medical and engineering entrance exams preparations. Aakash Edu TV is available exclusively on Airtel Digital TV that will provide high-quality coaching sessions to students across India who are preparing for entrance exams such as JEE, JEE Advanced and NEET. Apple unveils 5G-enabled iPhone 12 Pro, iPhone 12 Pro Max. Apple unveiled 5G-enabled 6.1-inch display iPhone 12 Pro and 6.7-inch display iPhone 12 Pro Max starting from $999 and $1,099 respectively. They have 12MP ultra-wide, 12MP wide and 12MP telephoto lenses and are powered by A14 Bionic chip LiDAR system for autofocus in low light and have ceramic shield. iPhone 12 and iPhone 12 Pro pre-orders starts from October 16th in the US. Google Play Music Store shuts down option for the users to transfer library. Google has shut down the Play Music Store and told users that they will lose access to the Google Play Music app by the end of 2020. It has also asked users to transfer the Play Music library to YouTube Music. Users will also be able to download their data via Google Takeout or delete it through Play Music account settings. Russia behind cyber attack against its parliament, says Norway. Norway's foreign minister has alleged that Russia was behind a cyber attack launched against the Norwegian parliament in August. On September 1st, the Norwegian parliament said it had sustained a cyber attack during the previous week and that the email accounts of several lawmakers and employees had been hacked. Based on the information available to the government, it is our assessment that Russia stood behind this activity, Ine Eriksen Søreide said in a statement. COVID update. The number of reported coronavirus cases from India stood at 72,32,224 with the death toll at 1,10,620. A report shows 2 indigenous vaccine candidates are at the final stage of phase 2 of the clinical trial. The third vaccine candidate, that is Oxford, involving Serum Institute, is undergoing the third phase clinical trial. Results are expected by November end. Conclude. Many technology companies including Google, Microsoft, Zoom, LogMeIn, Salesforce and Cisco have rolled out tools that can support companies and organizations when going remote for extended trial periods or for lower fees. At the same time, many enterprises are considering multiple cloud options for different workloads. Hybrid cloud too has become an extremely popular option as it gives enterprises the ability to gain the best of both worlds, that is on-premise and public cloud. Gartner predicts that by the end of calendar year 2020, 75% of organizations will have deployed a multi-cloud or hybrid cloud model. The COVID-19 pandemic has created many challenges for businesses across the globe. At first, it was employees working from home and the cyber risk arising from the same. But now, as we adapt to the new normal, many people are looking to make the transition back to office, and there are new sets of challenges to ensure safe return to work. The relaxation of stay-at-home orders and work restrictions are going to result in additional cybersecurity concerns which arise from the rapid integration of remote workers. As there was a sudden switch to remote working style, there is an increased reliance on personal devices such as personal computers, USB drives and other peripheral devices for office-related work. If any of these personal devices are compromised due to the lack of security measures, then they can pose a serious threat to an organization's infrastructure as soon as they are connected to the internal networks. So be careful. Let's wind up for the day, but do not forget to like, share, comment and subscribe to War India News Magazine. Please download the War India app from Google Play Store for latest news and updates. Stay tuned. Thank you.